The nations of North America may be relatively young, but the continent boasts some very old companies. It was here in New York in 1806 that Colgate began selling soap, candles and starch. A French immigrant in Delaware in 1802 began a company called DuPont. And we can go back even further to 1765 and the founding of the Hartford Courant, the newspaper that claims to be older than the United States. But for real North American longevity, we need to go back to 1670, 345 years ago, when the Hudson's Bay Company received its royal charter from the British Crown. Now a mainstay of retailing, Hudson's Bay is the oldest company in North America. It traces its history back to the earliest days of European contact with the native inhabitants of the continent. Hudson's Bay's founders wanted to buy and sell fur, and the indigenous people of what is now Canada began exchanging fur for manufactured goods such as knives, kettles, needles, beads and blankets. From its start, accessing the interior from Hudson Bay, the company extended its reach across the breadth of the continent, all the way to the Pacific. The fur trade had an inevitable impact on Canada's Aboriginal peoples. Many abandoned their traditional pursuits and became dependent on these European manufactured goods. And as with so many other encounters between the Old World and the New, native peoples were devastated by European diseases. By the end of the 19th century, fur was falling out of favor. Hudson's Bay, like so many other companies, could have shriveled and died. Instead, it became a retailer, with stores now ranging from Hudson's Bay outlets to Saks Fifth Avenue. What does it take for a company to adapt and thrive rather than disappear?
Every day, act like it's the first day. You also have to adapt. The world changes very rapidly. If you don't change, then you're toast. You have to be very entrepreneurial. We always love the stories of the new startup company and how they succeed. That same spirit needs to permeate your company every day, generation after generation, decade after decade. And finally, I would say you have to listen. You need to listen to your people because they know what's going on. They know what's right and what's wrong, what will work and what won't work. Listen to your customers. After all in business to serve our customers. Listen to your shareholders. We are a corporation. So what are they looking for? And then finally, listen to your communities because we operate in a broader sphere, not just in our walls of our company. Customers love to come, look around us. They love to shop. They love to see beauty. They need to try it on. Meanwhile, we know they're going to interface with us digitally, online, on their mobile phones, at home, and we embrace that too because we know that the best combination is when the customers use the internet to access our world and then come to the stores to shop with us in person.
But how can retailers, such as Hudson's Bay, ensure they remain in business for another 45 years, let alone another 345?
Well, because it was a trading company, it's enormously inventive in making do with whatever resources are available to it. Year after year, finding out what's out there, what can we use, how can we make some money off of doing it. Just being very clever in every little step of operations, like the trading companies today. In order for Hudson's Bay to survive and thrive for the next 50 years, they just have to keep on using their imagination and their willingness to be very creative in adapting to whatever's going to happen.
Retailing is as hard a business to survive in as any other. The internet has made consumers fickle. They aren't as loyal as they once were. They hunt for bargains. The company that began trading with hunters 345 years ago has a long history. Its continued ability to adapt will determine if it has an even longer one. Michael Skapinker, Financial Times, New York.